So I just want to walk you through the save your scenario demonstration. So had a couple of clients who, used to plan out a scenario and then they go, okay, well now let's change it. What if I do this instead? And what if I do that instead? But wanted to save multiple scenarios along the way. So we've implemented this new feature called Save Our Scenario. That's going to allow you to plan out multiple different scenarios and see how it goes. Very simple. It's just this new module up here. Every scenario starts with a base scenario. So this is kind of, that blank canvas allowing you to plug in different numbers and everything else like that. And then to save that scenario, you give it a name and then you just hit the save. Now, a couple of things have to occur for a new scenario to be saved. Firstly, you have to have some sort of customization entered into the manual entered spends. So some uniqueness that the user's actually inputted. Second to that, or it could be some assumptions. So you could say, okay, well, we've got 5% as a base. That's going to take us to a total equity position of 7.6. Let's increase that growth to, let's say that we're going to have 7% growth on the portfolio moving forward. We might call this scenario like 7 or something like that, but we've gone from 6.5 to 13 million. So you can see how much of an impact the compound effect really does have depending on how much it's compounding in. So you could call this scenario, let's just call it 7. Save that. Now that scenario is saved as number 7 here. So we're back on the base. We can go back and update this growth rate to 5%. And now this is only going to impact the base. We're now back at 5%. So we've got 7.6 market value at 5%. Or we can easily jump back to our 7 by clicking on that 7 there. And it's going to change our growth bracket out to 7% and our total market value to 12.5. Now to delete a saved scenario, you just re-highlight that saved scenario. Click when it's red, just click on it. It'll pop up and say, you sure you want to delete it? And you can delete it from there. But let's do another scenario. Let's do the manual entered spends now. So that's buying no further purchases. Let's go and add in another purchase today. Let's say it's a $500,000 purchase on an 80% of 80%, and just see how that impacts things. So we've purchased that property. Our offset's still pretty good. It's now going to take us to $9.8 million. And we're almost going to hit our passive income target in 30 years. So let's call this scenario, 500K. Based on how much savings that we've got today, I feel like we could probably fit in another purchase, or a higher purchase, I should say. So let's say that we increase that up to, 800,000. Hopefully we've got enough savings to do so. Still got about 174 left in the offset. In terms of where our portfolio takes us, it's now at $11 million, and we do hit that passive income target of 150K. So now I'll save this as 800K. And now you can start to see the power of the conversations that you can have with it. So as a base scenario, I'm going to reset everything back to model defaults. This is on very conservative numbers using the whole portfolio overall. So base scenario, we only get to 100K passive income in 30 years. Our portfolio gets to 7.6%. If we did have 7% growth though, it would ultimately take us to, $13 million worth of total portfolio value. We're still only hitting 100K worth of passive income because we're not changing our rental yields or rental increases per annum by anything, and not adding any properties to the portfolio. If we bought a 500K property today on a 5% growth rate, our total portfolio value would get to $9.8 million, and we'd nearly hit our passive income targets. Or if we bought an 800K property today, and that was it for the portfolio, that's all we purchased moving forward, we'd still have enough cash to do so. We get to a total equity position of $11 million, and we hit that passive income target of 150K by 2048. So you can sort of save some scenarios and break it down to multiple levels.